Okie dokie. Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite places. I want to do more normal videos. Here we go. This is not very normal though, is it? Okie dokie. Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite places and countries, and today I'm gonna wrap up my Guangxi trip video thing series where I talk about the things that have happened in my trip to Guangxi, which is an autonomous region in China, which is pretty much the equivalent of a province in China. And I am in Hong Kong right now. Up north it's Guangdong, and then west of Guangdong is Guangxi. And yes, oh boy. Okay, so I have already talked about day 3 and day 4, so I'm gonna start talking about day 5, and hopefully I can finish day 9, because I'm gonna be honest here, spoiler alert, nothing all that important happened from day 6 to day 9, so I can just go through 6 to 9 really quickly. But I'm gonna talk about day 5, which is, I think, personally, the best day in the entire trip, and for various reasons. My sore throat was beginning to heal, and I was able to speak and eat and drink again, and it was fantastic. I am happy that I will not feel pain when I actually speak and consume food and drinks. I get to go around Guilin, the city itself. On day 1 we arrived at Nanning, on day 2 we arrived at Guilin, on day 3 we went to Yangshuo, which is south of Guilin, on day 4 we went to Longsheng, which is north of Guilin, but we never really went around Guilin, the city itself. So on day 5 I get to do that, and it's actually pretty fun. And at the time we when in the morning we were still not at Guilin, we were still at Longsheng, the place up north, up on a mountain in this countryside place, in this resort where there are a lot of ethnic minorities. It was pretty cool. We left our hotel room, we walked 252 steps down to a car, and then we were on a car on the way back to the city. You know, it's funny, on the way from Longsheng back to Guilin, I was in a big car, and I felt car sick. And the only thing that stopped me from being car sick is music. So I felt really nauseous and all, because the mountains, it's very bumpy. And then I just put on my earphones, I just started listening to my saved songs on Spotify, and damn, it was amazing. I really love music. Earlier on, before we left, in the lobby, in the first floor of the hotel, of the resort building, we had breakfast, and again we had rice noodles, soup noodles, and everyone ate like 3 bowls, and I only ate half because my sore throat still existed. But I think around afternoon, that's when my sore throat started to heal. Okay, is that someone outside? I don't know. If that is, that's bad news. Anyway, around 2:30 p.m. We finally made back to Guilin, and we went to somewhere in the city center where there are actually a lot of people and a lot of cars and a lot of motorcycles for some reason. And we stayed in this small hostel place, and it sucks. We only stayed there for 1 night, so it's like, just 1 night. But it's terrible. It's even worse than the second hotel. So it is a hostel building that's really small. It has sort of ground floor, the first floor, the ground floor is sort of this small lobby with like a couple of tables, this mini football game table, and another snookers table. And then we walked all the way up to the second floor, and at the end of the long hallway, that's our room, and it sucks. It's I'm gonna show you the photo, but yeah, so yes, we have one big bed and one bunk bed, which is basically 2 beds. And then instead of a table, we have this long, thin wooden board with like columns. So it's kind of a table, I guess. And then it has 2 chairs, and then that's it. And the beds aren't even properly aligned. It's just really bad. It's kind of dirty too. And then we have the bathroom, which is just a little offensive. It's long-shaped, rectangular, cuboid bathroom. We have the sink, and then beside the sink, it's the shower place, which is literally just the water tap and the shower sprinkler. And then right beside it, it's the toilet seat, which sucks. It's just bad. And then there's the towel on top of the toilet seat, so it soaks all the... Yeah, you get the idea. It's very bad. It's 3 out of 10. I give this hotel room a 3 out of 10. Look at the air conditioner. There's a lot of dust in the air conditioner, and no one is tending to it. Just disgusting. But we didn't stay there for long. We settled down, we put down all our luggages and whatnot. I grabbed my camera and my phone and extra batteries, and we went out again. So a little bit further south, like 2 streets south of that hostel building, it's one of the most famous, actually not one of the most, actually literally the most famous tourist attraction in the entire Guangxi region, and that is the Elephant Tusk Mountain. And it was really hot, and everyone was a little tired, so only me and Grandma paid to go down. The first time I've been to Guilin, also by the way, this is the second time I've been here. The first time I've been here, I am with my grandma only, and we went to the Elephant Tusk Mountain without paying, but now it's 2019, of course you have to pay to go to anything. So we went to Elephant Tusk Mountain, ETM, and it was okay. It was this long beach that's really nice, and we get the waters, which is really beautiful, with the sky and the trees on the other end of the river, on the other side of the river. And then we got the mountain, which looks pretty cool, and it has a little tower on its back, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Nothing all that spectacular though. And of course, it's a tourist attraction, so there is a lot of stores, just small stores around this place. And there was this small shop for ice cream and ice lollies. So my grandma bought 3 chocolate ice lollies, and yeah, I had one, and it sucks. Again, I'm gonna give you a pro tip here. If you go to mainland China, do not buy anything dairy related, because it's not gonna taste that good, especially ice cream or ice lollies or yogurt. Just don't. It's just bad. That's what it is. And then after that, we continued walking for a little bit. It was super duper hot. I think it was 37 degrees Celsius. It's just insanely hot. I could stand still and I could sweat in seconds. And then we walked all the way to this place in the middle of the road where we took a taxi to a place further south of the city center, and it's basically a market, and it's a pretty special market, but because it's not the very crowded spices and food kind of market, it's a special kind of market in that you buy souvenirs like clothes and different rocks and stones and toys and weird things, and you buy it. You can buy it on the spot, or you can order it so that they could send it to your address at Hong Kong or something, like Amazon but Chinese version. It's called Taobao, or in Cantonese Tobo. So I thought the place was kind of special actually, because if you remove all the people in that area, in that market, that place actually looks like a very dystopian, post-apocalyptic, almost Soviet abandoned place, concrete building compound or complex. And it feels kind of dystopian there. It's China, and in China the well-developed places are really well developed, and the lesser developed places are really not developed, even though it's just in the edge, at the edge of like a city. But yeah, it was a pretty big market, and it looks pretty depressing as well. It has these rings of like concrete buildings that are really oddly uniform, and it's empty. It's really empty. And for me, I'm not like a huge shopping guy, so for me it's a little boring over there. But it's still a pretty special place. I'm happy that I've been there. And then afterwards, we sort of took a taxi back at the hostel, and then we stayed at the hostel for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, I think. But yeah, we just stayed there, and then we went out again, and I'm going through all of the photos right now. I still remember that when we went back to the hostel, it started to rain, like really heavily, and we don't have any umbrellas at all. Except for my mom. My mom had one umbrella, and I was holding a camera, so we decided to just run all the way from the cab to the door to our hostel. And and when it rains, it's like dirty and muddy. The floor becomes dirty and muddy, and it wasn't great. But anyway, we stayed at the hostel for a few minutes, and then we went out again. We went out to have dinner in this restaurant that's, I think, 2 blocks away from that hostel. It's really near. I think we passed by this really popular shopping tourist street, and we passed by this special hotel, and then we went to a restaurant called Congee City. Congee is like porridge but wetter, I think. It's like rice but with a lot of water, Anyway, we went to Guilin, Congee City. It is the restaurant. We had dinner over there, and we didn't really eat anything all that special. Also, it's important to note that on that day we didn't have lunch, so I was hungry AF. And during that dinner, my sore throat still kinda existed, but it wasn't as bad. But I could start to eat, so that was pretty cool. I had tofu and that small mushroom called inakitaki, and with steamed fish, of course. We have minced pork stuffed in a bitter melon, which sucked. I bit into it and it tasted terrible. It's just not something that I like, so I didn't like that. But it was an okay meal, you know, not that great, not that special, not that local as well. But after that, that's when it starts to get good. So we went to a port beside the city center, and in there we bought the tickets to a boat trip, and then we went into a boat, a small little boat where we could just ride around the river. I'm gonna show you the map, okay? Where we can ride around the river and into the city, and then out of the city through this route. And the boat kinda sucks, I think, because A, it's small, B, there are a lot of insects for some reason, C, it's very dimly lit, so we couldn't really see anything, D, it's like, it's indoors, and there's this small deck outside, so whenever we want to look at the view, we need to go outside of that indoors part of the boat, which sucks. And E, it's you know, it's going, it's always moving. We couldn't just stop and look, you know. But Guilin at night is actually surprisingly beautiful. The trees, basically all of the trees in the city center are lit in different colors, and the colors sort of change, and they're pretty beautiful actually. But I think the most beautiful part is the river and the lakes themselves. We were on the boat, and we passed by a few towers, which are actually really beautiful. For some reason, like, I really like these Chinese style towers. They're all really amazing, and it's nighttime, so they're all lit up, and it looks fantastic. And for the most part in that boat trip, I was outside at the deck, and I get to see different towers, different buildings as well, and they're amazing. The view is amazing. And also some mountains, which are also lit with different colored lights. So at night, the whole city was just really colorful, and it was amazing. We also went through under a lot of bridges. Kind of reminds me of that boat trip I had in Paris on the river of Rhine, except this is Guilin on Lijiang River. And all of the bridges are different, similarly in, you know, like Paris, like Rhine, where different bridges have different styles of architecture, which is really nice. And then we went to the best thing about this boat trip, and that is the Sun Moon Twin Towers. They're also one of the more famous tourist attractions in the entire Guangxi region, and we went there. We were on a boat, and it didn't stop, but I was there and I took a shit ton of photos. Originally I wanted to tell my mom or my dad to take a photo of me, you know, for Instagram and all. You know, I'm a fucking millennial. Except I'm doing this deadpan face because that's my style. But I couldn't because it's moving so fast, so I just held the camera by myself. Basically, I took a selfie, except it's a video. So now you're gonna see the video here. But yeah, that's basically it. And it was a pretty amazing night. And then after the boat ride, we went back on land, and we walked all the way back to our hostel. But beside the hostel, there's this popular touristy shopping street called the 步行街, meaning walking street, which is a long, like a really long street where it's all tourists. It's all colorful restaurants and shops at the sides and stores, and there are tourists walking around, and it's, you know, pretty nice, pretty neat. And it was nighttime, and, you know, the stores are about to close, so my mom was like, you know what, let's walk through the whole place. So we walked from the one end of the street to the other end, and it was long. It was really long. But we had fun. We didn't really buy anything or eat anything, except my grandma wanted to eat sweet water. Okay, if you're not Asian, if you're not East Asian, if you're not Southeast Asian, you probably have no idea what is sweet water. It's like soup. It's like sweet soup, but it's a dessert. And my grandma really wanted to eat that, so she had a bowl, and my brother had a bowl. And then beside of that sweet soup store, there's another drink store, more like beverage store, because drink store sounds like alcohol, like liquor store, but yeah, drink store. Basically, I ordered an Oreo milkshake, and I totally regret it. It tastes like garbage. It tastes like, and it was a big cup too. It was like about this tall, and it tasted garbage. Oreo milkshake is great, okay? Don't get me wrong, but like it tasted garbage in mainland China. So again, a pro tip: anything dairy related, ice cream, yogurt, milkshake, whatever, don't buy it in mainland China. Just don't. I could have bought a mango passion fruit tea, or some sort of tea, you know, not this. I totally regret this, and I drank like 1/5, and I just gave up. It's really bad. It tastes like water mixed with Oreo ice cream, melted, and then frozen, turns to ice, and then it's chopped up, and it's put into this cup, and it tasted like diluted dust. It's bad. And also, since on the boat ride I couldn't really take a photo of myself in front of the Sun Moon Towers, so me and my dad actually went to a park nearby to take a photo of me in front of the Sun Moon Towers. So we went back to a park, and then we went back to the hostel directly. And then that is day 5. Honestly, it's not a great day, but hey, it's also not bad. I get to see the Sun Moon Towers, which is nice, and the street is nice. And then we have day 6, which is August 1st. In the morning, we left the hostel. We had breakfast at the same dinner we had at the same restaurant we had dinner at the previous night in Guilin, Congee City. And again, we didn't eat anything all that special. We had fried eggs, not really fried eggs. Yeah, fried eggs. We had congee, which is nice, which tasted nice, and also noodles, but like not rice noodles, more like hor fun or he. Okay, so tagliatelle in Italy is like he in China, because it's flatter and broader in shape. Okay, anyway, there's like 50 types of noodles in China. That's one of the types, whatever. It's pretty regular breakfast, nothing all that interesting. My nose is itching, and after the breakfast, we directly took a car driven by my mom's friend to the Guilin North train station, because we're leaving on that day. And so so my mom's friend drove a car, and then they also called another Uber taxi. So we went to the North train station, and we just left. That's it, folks. That's it. Alright. Okay, my computer's frozen again. That's fantastic. Okay, so we were at Guilin North Station, and my computers are frozen. But yeah, so yeah, as always, we sat down, and then we went to the what's that? The platform. Yeah, so we took the train from Guilin all the way back down and back west, back southwest to Nanning, the capital of Guangxi. And during that train ride, my throat healed, like really healed for some reason. And by the time we arrived, I was like, okay, I can finally eat food now. I'm gonna eat a lot of food. And then I proceed to not eat lunch for 3 days. And it's not even my fault. I wanted to eat lunch, but I just can't leave the friggin' hotel. Yes, a little bit of foreshadowing right there. That is a tasty cheesecake. I'm back and I'm gonna continue to talk about the trip I had in Guangxi. So last time, yesterday, no, a couple days ago, I forgot. I lost track of time. I stopped at around the time I went back to Nanning from Guilin. Look at the map right here. Look at the map. You know where is Nanning, you know where is Guilin. They're both in the same autonomous region. And the first thing we did after going back to Nanning, we went back to the Marriott Hotel, which is great news because that is the only good hotel I've ever been in mainland China. The only good hotel. So yeah, shout out to Marriott. They're a great hotel company. It's quality. You know, it has air conditioning. It's nice. And then after arriving, we sort of settled down, and my brother was like, I wanna go swimming. I really wanna go swimming. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go swimming. So me and my brother and my dad went to the swimming pool in the hotel, inside the hotel. So we swam around. It was okay. The swimming pool was a little dirty and the water was a little cold, which I'm not a fan of. I hate cold swimming pools, but it's not that cold. You get used to it really quickly, and it's okay. It's okay. You know what? It's okay. So if you ever want to go to Nanning, this hotel is your number one choice. There's also a little gym room beside the swimming pool, so that's pretty cool. After swimming, I went back to the hotel room, took a shower, and I went to the lounge, and I had more food. And originally, my grandma wanted us to go to our grand aunt's house because that day was the day before my grand aunt's birthday, and my grand aunt is going to have her birthday at a big restaurant. So it sort of defies Chinese tradition, you know, for culturally speaking. In Chinese tradition, you need to go to that person's house when that person is having a birthday, especially when that person is an elder. But my mom was like, we're hungry. Can we not go there too early? So at the end, my grandma and my second aunt went to my grand aunt's house first. And me, my mom, my dad, and my brother stayed behind. We sat down at the lounge and we had food, and I was hungry AF after I finished swimming, so it was fantastic. The food wasn't great, but at least there is food. And then after that, we left the hotel, took a taxi to my grand aunt's house, which is a little bit more down south in Nanning. And it really shocks me how, there's only like a very small distance from my grand aunt's house and the city itself, and it's like night and day. It's like old school Chinese countryside versus, you know, advanced urban Chinese city, just a couple blocks away, and it feels so different. But yeah, anyway, we went to this street, and this street wasn't like super, you know, modern, advanced Chinese city kind of street, but it's still kind of modern, kind of urban. And then we walked to the end of the street and then turned another right into this small path, and all of a sudden it feels like I'm at a different place. It's way more old and broken and cheap over there, and it's more I wouldn't say countryside, but way more rural. And the last time I've been there, I was around 10 years old, and when I go there, I was 16. I am still 16 now, okay? But yeah, suddenly I recalled all the memories I had of going there, because I've been there before. And it was this really weird nostalgic moment that I didn't think I would have. So that's really cool. It's like I've been there, but I only have a little bit of impression on a few parts of that place. But now when I actually go there and experience there fully again, I start to remember the whole landscape. And it's a really cool moment. And in my grand aunt's house, there were a lot of people. There were a lot of relatives, a lot of second cousins. There are cousins and then there are second cousins, because my grand aunt is the sister of my grandma. So my grand aunt's, you know, niece and nephews are my second cousins, basically. And it's really confusing because the family tree is like super huge. And it's all on my mom's side. But yeah, that's basically it. We had dinner at my grand aunt's house, and it was a pretty regular Chinese dinner, you know, rice, white rice, because of course you eat rice every day, it's normal. Sour vegetable fish, which is a very famous dish in Guangxi. And then that's it. We had chicken, duck, pretty normal, you know, nothing all that fancy or anything. And then at that night, my cousins arrived at Nanning, and they went straight to my grand aunt's house and met with me. So that's a great day for me, because I've not seen my cousins for a very long time already. My elder cousin was at UK, was at Canterbury and Kent, England, and my second cousin, my younger cousin was at Munich, Germany, and together they went to Amsterdam and Lelystad, and then they went from Amsterdam airport to Nanning. See the tone. Anyway, day 7, we had breakfast in that buffet place again. It's pretty cool. And then after that, I didn't do anything. My cousins wanted to go to the gym. They wanted to check out the gym. So I went to the gym. Turns out you need to wear sports shoes in the gym, and you need to be over 13 years old to be in the gym. So my brother can't be there. And then after that, we sort of hang out in the hotel rooms. Didn't do anything. I watched Full Metal Alchemist, which is a really good anime. My cousin introduced me to it. And then after that, my mom's friend, my grandma's friends came to the hotel lobby to see us. So I was there, and my grandma's friend's son's son, I think, is an 18-year-old who went to the USA, who went to Sacramento, California for college. And so I and him had a chat on the difficulties of studying overseas at USA. And then after that, me, my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandma, my second aunt, my cousins, and my aunt, my first aunt, went to a restaurant, a very fancy restaurant on top of a tall building in another place in Nanning, which is nearer to my grand aunt's house than Marriott Hotel. And it's also beside the big lake called Nanhu, Nanhu meaning South Lake. And it's okay. It's an okay meal. It's way more expensive. It's way more luxurious. But is it great? I don't think so. I don't think it's all that great. And the cake, the birthday cake, is utter garbage. I'm going to be honest here. It's garbage. The cake is garbage. There are red beans inside the cake. Anyway, we have day 8 again. We had breakfast at the buffet place in the hotel. And then after that, I was like, man, this is so boring. So me and my cousins decided to just go out of the hotel and just go. Just go. Whatever. Just go. Originally, I wanted to walk around Nanning because I wanted to see more places, you know. But all we did was we went to a nearby subway station, and we didn't even take the subway. We just exited the subway station in another exit. And we went to the other side of the huge road. And we walked and we walked and we entered this weird urban advanced convention center. And it looks really fancy in the outside, but kind of empty in the inside. And in one of the buildings, a convention was happening. And there was this huge, great hall. And there were all these rows of seats. It's like a lot of seats, like a lot. And there's this stage where there are people preparing on top of the stage, but apparently the ceremony hasn't started yet. Apparently it's like an award ceremony for some sort of competition or something, I don't know. And outside of the Great Hall, there's a metal detector and some guards. And my elder cousin was like, let's go in. So we walked through the metal detectors and the guards didn't even give a single shit. So me and my cousins, 3 random strangers, just walked into a random award ceremony, into a random convention, and nobody knew. Nobody knew it. I think a lot of people also did the same thing. I don't know. But there are a lot of people there. And nothing's happening. And we sat there for like 20 minutes straight and nothing's happening. So at the end we left, we walked around. I wanted to go to another lake nearby. But my cousins were like, okay man, it's kind of far away. We don't want to go there. You know what? Let's just go back to that great hall and check out if anything is happening. So we went back. But before we went back, we went to another little hall beside of the award ceremony hall. And that hall is like it's like an exhibition hall. It's like a small exhibition market inside of a large abandoned building, concrete building. And it's really nothing. And then we went back to the convention hall, the one originally we went to, and nothing happened. So we decided to leave and go back to the hotel, and that's it. We went back to the hotel, we went swimming again, and again on that day we didn't really have lunch, so we were super duper hungry. So all of us, including my mom and my aunt and my second aunt and my grandma and my dad and my brother, went to the same restaurant I had dinner in on day 1, which is a Guilin, which is the Guangxi regional cuisine restaurant in the mall beside of the hotel. And it was great. It was actually really great because I can finally eat. My sore throat has completely disappeared. And yeah, the lemon duck is still super spicy, but I also tried some other new things like the egg yolk fried chicken wings, which are really, really, really good. And we also drank this lemonade with passion fruit, and it's refreshing, it's sweet, it's nice. But after that, I was still kind of hungry, and I kind of wanted to eat rice noodles with peanuts without the sore throat. So I went back to the lounge of the hotel, and I ate even more food, as if I am an eating machine of some sorts. You know, I'm actually a really skinny person. I don't eat much food, and so it's kind of weird that I ate so much on that day. But yes, I really ate a lot of food. You know, I had another bowl of rice noodles in the lounge of the hotel, and I'm just a little disappointed that there aren't any peanuts in that bowl of rice noodles because the hotel ran out of peanuts, but there were bean stalks and asparagus and a little chili, but no peanuts. Yeah, after that, I was super full, and we hang out at hotel rooms, and that's basically it. Alright, and then after that, it's day 9. Again, days 6 to 9 just flew by like a gust of wind. They just go really fast because we didn't really do anything. On day 9, we had breakfast at that buffet place again. You know the drill. And then after that, we left the hotel. We took a cab to the Nanning East train station, and then we just left. And then we just took the train back to Hong Kong. And this train ride is like the fastest train ride. I have no idea why. I wasn't paying attention to the view at all. I wasn't looking at Google Maps at all because I couldn't receive signal. So yeah, it just went by, and then a couple hours later, actually 4 hours later, I arrived at Hong Kong. I didn't even know it when I crossed the border between mainland China and Hong Kong. I didn't even notice it, but it happened. I went back to Hong Kong, and I was I was like, yay, I'm at Hong Kong again, yay. That was fast. And then after we arrived, we were all super hungry, so we went to another restaurant near the train station, and that's a Chinese restaurant as well, dim sum restaurant. So I was a little unenthusiastic about it. It's still pretty good though. And then after that, I went home. That's it. That's the trip. So yeah, overall, I know I shouldn't really give trips ratings, but I think I'm gonna give this trip a 6 out of 10. That is the level of enjoyment I got. I think the best part about this trip is Guilin, is going around Guilin. The sun moon twin towers, they're amazing, especially at night. And walking all the way up to the top of a mountain to look at the staircase fields at Longsheng is also extremely memorable for me. And yeah, even though the last few days are kind of forgettable, and on the first few days I had a terrible sore throat, still, it's not that bad. It's decent at best, and I'm feeling a 6 out of 10 for this. So yeah, overall, I think Guangxi is actually more interesting than Guangdong, but it's just my personal opinion. Maybe it's because I'm from Hong Kong, so I'm not all that crazy about the places in Guangdong, even though there are more places to visit in Guangdong than there are in Guangxi, but Guangxi overall is more interesting. So, what are your thoughts on Guangxi if you've been there? Like if you like it, hate if you hate it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.